Have you ever found yourself just staring at a price chart, trying to figure out if a trend is for real or if it's about to fall apart? Well, if you have, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to dig into something called the moving average ribbon. It's this really cool visual tool that helps you see what's really going on with a trend's strength. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You see the price moving up or down, but is it a strong move, a confident one, or is it kind of weak, looking like it could reverse any second? Just looking at the price candlesticks alone, it can be really tough to tell. But what if there was a tool that did more than just flash a buy or sell signal? Imagine something that actually paints you a picture, a whole story about how healthy a trend is, how much gas it has in the tank, and when it might be about to turn around. That's exactly what the moving average ribbon does. So, let's get into it. What exactly is this ribbon? It's a fantastic way to visualize what's happening with market momentum, and it's actually way simpler than it sounds. Okay, so at its heart, the idea is super simple. Instead of looking at just one or maybe two moving averages, you're looking at a whole bunch of them, all at the same time, right there on your chart. And when you plot them all together, they create this beautiful flowing ribbon effect. And here it is. This is what it looks like out in the wild. See that? It's not just a line or two. It's this whole band that flows along with the price. And you can see how it gets wider and then gets tighter. That visual texture, that's where all the good information is hiding. So, how do you build one? Well, it's really just a bunch of moving averages, usually somewhere between 6 and, say, 16 of them. And you've got options. You can use simple moving averages, or SMAs, or you can use exponential moving averages, EMAs, which tend to react a little faster. The best part is you can customize the whole thing to fit how you like to trade. Now, this is where the magic happens. You don't need a PhD in math to use this thing. Nope, you just have to learn to read its shape. And there are really just 3 simple signals the ribbon is always giving you. Let's break them down. All right, the very first signal to look for is something called expansion. This is when you see the lines of the ribbon start to fan out, getting wider and wider. So here's the key takeaway. When you see that ribbon expanding, with the lines moving farther apart, that's a warning sign. It's telling you that the trend might be getting a little tired, a little overextended, and that it could be nearing its end. And you can see that expansion right here on the chart. As this downtrend goes on, you see how the ribbon starts to fan out? That widening is our big visual clue that the downward momentum is starting to fade. The trend is losing steam. Okay, signal number 2 is the total opposite. It's contraction. And you guessed it, this is when the ribbon gets really tight and narrow. So when all those lines start to pull back together, almost pinching into a single point, that's a huge signal that a new trend could be about to kick off. There's a great analogy for this. Think of the lines as being like magnets. After they spread apart, they naturally want to pull back together. And that pull often happens right when the market is about to change direction. And this is a perfect example of that contraction. Look how squeezed and tight that ribbon gets right there. That's the market coiling up like a spring, just building up energy for its next big move. In this case, it's signaling the start of that new uptrend. And that brings us to our third and final signal, when the lines of the ribbon are all running parallel to each other. This one's my favorite because it's so clear. When all the moving averages are neatly spaced and moving in the same direction, it means they're all in agreement. This is the ribbon's way of screaming at you, hey, this trend is healthy, it's stable, and it is strong. Let's look at the chart one more time. See this section here? The lines are moving together in this perfect formation, like lanes on a highway. That parallel structure, that's confirming the strength of this downtrend. There's no guesswork here. The market knows exactly where it wants to go. Okay, so we know the 3 signals now, right? Expansion, contraction, and parallel. Let's put it all together and take a little tour of a chart, reading the story from start to finish. All right, let's trace the whole story playing out here. We start over on the left with those beautiful parallel lines. That's our strong, healthy downtrend. Then what happens? We see the expansion. The ribbon fans out, warning us that the trend is getting weak. And right on cue, that's followed by a really sharp contraction. See how it squeezes tight? That's the signal for the birth of a brand new uptrend, which we see starting to unfold on the right. It's literally the entire life cycle of a trend, told to us by the shape of the ribbon. And this is so important to understand. A lot of traders just wait for a simple moving average crossover. But if that's all you're watching, you're missing half the story. The real genius of the ribbon is that it shows you the strength and the momentum of the trend through the spacing of the lines. It gives you a much deeper, much richer picture of what the market is actually doing.
Okay, let's make sure this all sinks in. The most important thing is to just remember the simple language that the ribbon's shape is speaking to you.
And here it is, all in one place. Expansion, the lines are widening, and that could mean the trend is ending. Contraction, the lines are converging or squeezing together, and that suggests a new trend might be starting. In parallel, the lines are evenly spaced, which tells you the current trend is strong. That's it. 3 shapes, 3 very clear messages.
So now you know how to look beyond those basic crossovers and actually read the shape and spacing of the moving average ribbon. You've basically unlocked a whole new language for analyzing trends. So the only question left is, what stories are you going to uncover in the charts?